Welcome to Voices. Nourish for Caregivers brings you the voices of diocesan leaders from across the country, sharing their why, in their own words, why it is so important to care for caregivers now, more than ever before.
I gathered primarily parish nurses. We have a pretty good parish nurse program in our diocese. They have training and all sorts of certifications and things, and so that's the group that I targeted, along with one of our deacon candidates who was actually caregiving and some other folks. What started it primarily was a coworker who had an aging mother and came into I coordinate the marriage and family life ministries for my diocese. Okay, so that's what I do. So she came into my office going, Marianne, you got to help me. You got to help me. I need some support. She was just kind of emoting all the frustrations of caregiving. And so I was fairly new to the diocese at the time as far as that position. And so I started looking into, well, what is out there for people like her? And we had one parish in our diocese that had a caregiver support program, but it was not at a terribly convenient time for this person. And they just kind of got together and talked, which was good because you had that support, and it was from a parish. So there was faith-based, but it wasn't something that would be easily duplicated in other places. And it kind of was already somewhat, not a closed group, but they had been together for a long time. And so I don't honestly remember how you probably in some survey, but I think it was probably an internet, something you sent out. And I just started kind of looking at it, and I was like, gosh, this sounds great. Plus I'm a caregiver myself. My 86-year-old mother lives with us, and she's been living there for about 8 years now with us. And then I also care long distance for my sister and brother-in-law, who I just moved from assisted living back home. So pray for me.
Yes.
But so what attracted me to it was, Deb and Kelly came out and they showed us, and I was like, this is great because anybody can do it, and we have, I know there are tons and tons of caregivers out there. And so that's what primarily attracted me. It was so well organized, it was so well put together. And it's even more so now because that was 4 years ago. And the beauty of it is that when we had just started, so they came in December, we started getting our first parish off the ground in spring of 2019. And so we were going for a few months, and then the pandemic hit. And we thought, okay, well, we'll just stop for a couple months and do that. And then we realized this, like the rest of us, this isn't going away. So then we started doing the online options and transitioned. And in fact, we even had a parish join just as an online location. And so we did have a couple other parishes that wanted to be, were in the midst of launching just as the pandemic hit. In fact, that spring was their launch date, and we're still working on getting them kind of back. One group that started originally is now actually doing Nourish program now. They started taking bits and pieces, so they're going to use your program, but they're going to keep their same, and hopefully open it up. So all different, but it's been great because I've benefited. I started as a co-facilitator to kind of help the pilot, but then I have just benefited so much just from everything that's come during my caregiving journey. And I don't know that I would have been able to make it through some of the stuff without that support. So they've been great. And you guys are just more and more resources all the time. I gathered primarily